Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be today in your world. Want to say hello to everyone and welcome you to the AM Affirmations Space Podcast. Hey, y'all. Welcome. Glad to see you here. Welcome, affirmers. My name is Caron Fairweather. I am also known as the Affirmation Whisperer and the founder of Boldly Becoming Her, a space where we women of in our second act evolve into the best version we've ever been because we are so much more wiser, so much more equipped and ready to do the darn thing. We were in the closet for a long time while we took care of everybody else, did everything else, but now it's time to put all that on pause, set some new boundaries, and go about living our best life. I can be found on all of the socials: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all of them. Just look for me. Find my name, Boldly Becoming Her. You'll find it. And join me as we all begin our journey of living our best lives. Because honestly, if you're in the second act like me, you got more years behind you than ahead of you. But that don't mean anything. Well, it actually does. Because we got less ahead of us than behind us, it's our responsibility. It's our obligation to live these years the best that we can live them. I am here joined here today by two amazing women that I'm going to allow to introduce themselves. Miss Marcy, you want to take the mic?
Well, thank you, K. Ron, and always thank you for this space. And affirmers, thank you. I am Marcy Trueheart, and you can find me on Facebook as Marcy Trueheart and on IG at Marcy.moments because you know that I love you and there's nothing you could do about it. You can find me on Thursday at Thursday Therapy Podcast on Facebook. Of course, the AM Affirmation. I am now I am an author, which I'm just actually hey learning to walk into that what word I want to use, walk into that title. I'm a community activist. I'm a speaker, and most of all, I am God's favorite daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
And with that, I'm going to hand it on over to Clivia.
Hey, hey. Hi, everyone. I am Clivia Allen, the servant leader at Chosen 31 Essentials, where we focus on storytelling by way of dance, publication, and media. Since we started introducing ourselves, I haven't really highlight what that looks like. So if you go to cliviaallen.com, you can learn more about what it means to be a feature on hashtag Her Chosen Story, where I interview women and men and sometimes youths, my chosenpreneurs, to share their untold stories, stories that they might feel are ordinary, but to someone else it's extraordinary. Publication, whether it's my books or your book, that untold story that you've shoved under maybe the mattress, maybe some old journals, or just things that you have experienced, it's time to get it out there. So I am taking new applicants, new clients to get those books published for 2026 going into 2027. But let's focus on 2026, getting those books published. And also you can be featured in our magazine, Chosen 31. And then dance, we'll be starting some dance and fitness classes soon, locally here in Florida, and perhaps virtually to get some of you involved. And you might see our queens on the screen, doing their thing. So I definitely want to continue this journey of storytelling. And yeah, just so glad to be here. Over
As
to
you
you.
can Thank you. As you can see, all of us, we have our lane, but we come together collectively in this space to share our wisdom, to speak about those things that we know about, and to speak about those things that we want to know more about. Getting into our second act, whether you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, or what have you, we all have our own lane. We all are authors. We all have things that we're doing for our communities. But more so than anything else, we are doing things in a space that serves us well. And that I absolutely adore. And I think that's what draws us together because we all have a different lane, but they connect. What's the word? They cross each other very well and very effectively. Today's subject. Thank you all for joining us and listening, y'all. The past few episodes, we have shared our numbers with you all. We are looking to get to 25,000 views before the end of the year. So we are asking our affirmers to share these episodes out. our shorts, our long versions of our videos. Share them out so that we can get those numbers, because that means the it's free. That's right. Subscribe. Click that subscribe button, because that means the message is getting out. Sometimes our episodes can be a little lengthy, but I guarantee you they're worth the listen, because
Oh
there
yeah.
are nuggets in there that are just for you. So thank you so much for the support that you guys have provided us with so far. And we thank you for continuing to share the episodes, because we can see people are sharing them, people are commenting, and we love the engagement and ask you to continue to do so, because we love hearing from our affirmers. So today's subject, as I was about to say earlier, today's subject is the future self I haven't introduced myself to yet. Think about that for just a moment. The future self, yourself that you haven't introduce yourself to yet. What does that look like? What does that look like? So let me share something with you here on that. I took some notes that I really wanted to share. So the version that we are, and I believe for those of us that are evolving, those of us that are learning more about ourselves, setting new boundaries, etc. I believe that we are continually becoming ourselves, but sometimes, just maybe, there's a version of you that you're just not allowing to come into full effect. You see her show up from time to time because she'll recognize something just like that. And you're like, "Ooh, girl, that's cool. I hadn't done that before." You hadn't recognized that you had done that before. You will disrupt familiar roles like, that doesn't work for me anymore. That doesn't feel good anymore. And you'll stop that, or you'll start to see that you're in places that you probably shouldn't be, but because that feels so uncomfortable, you'll just like, okay, no, no, I'm just getting, I don't know, my mind going somewhere, but I'm going to stay right here. But you had that inkling for that moment that just maybe I've outgrown this spot, but that familiarity string starts to strove, right? And you want to like, oh, okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, okay. So when we get those inklings, when we get that seeing ourselves in a way we had not seen ourselves before, not someone else showed us, we saw ourselves in a way that we had not seen before. And I'm sure we've all had those glimpses. That's her. That's her. That's the her that you just haven't allowed to come through completely. And the reason why is because it requires you to set some new boundaries. It requires you to remove some people from your life. It may even require you. I was reading something a day or two ago where it may even require you to physically move yourself from one location, right, Miss Clivia, to another location in order for her
Oh yeah.
to come forth.
Yeah.
And that's uncomfortable, especially if you don't have any foundation of the place that you end up being in. You may have been there once or twice, but not in the way of having that family structure around you. Becoming her, letting her through, requires you to rehearse that glimpse that you just saw. Wait, I want to bring her back up to the front. I need to set boundaries more often, because for that moment, setting that boundary, it felt so good. It freed me. But it's also uncomfortable because it takes us to an unfamiliar place. But the more we practice it, the more comfortable we become with it. We must practice it on a daily, deliberate, intentional basis without apology. Because when we start making changes and people start noticing and they start bringing it to our attention, sometimes we may have an immediate thought to start explaining and start apologizing, like, oh, I'm sorry, girl. I'm just trying to get me right. Why? What are you sorry for? What are you apologizing for? You know what you're doing is what you need to do. If she or he is truly of your circle, like, okay, girl, I see you doing something new. All right, I'm on board with you. I'm down with you, because they understand who you are and understand that you are evolving. And if you got someone in your circle who is saying, you need you need to go back to what you was doing before. If somebody in your circle like that, get them out your circle. Get them out your circle. So let me talk about some of these points. So when it comes down to you, another point. Becoming her, introducing yourself to that version of yourself you haven't, it sometimes feel like you're starting over because you're on new grounds, new territory, but guess what? You're not. You're not. You're integrating. You come to that new version of you with so much wisdom, so much experience, so much understanding. You're not starting over. Starting over is like nothing's there, but you're bringing all of that with you. So you're integrating all that you have learned and experienced into that new her that you all have evolved to. So letting go of the lie that reinvention is for young people. Who's heard that before?
Oh yeah.
Right? Right? I don't, Miss Marcy, I don't know if you're aware, but you left. Somewhat you, I don't see you no more. We are.
We
It happens to
already
all of
missing.
us. I just thought I'd let you know, just in case. The other point: the exhaustion of maintaining an outdated self concept. That old you. How much effort does it take for you to maintain what people perceive of you that you know you no longer are? How much effort does that take? Next, identifying that something has lived, it's done, it's over, it's time to release it. And not do it in a whole, okay, y'all, I want y'all to know that I'm starting to do some things new. We don't need to do that. You don't need to make no broad announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Just start doing it. Doing it in a way that makes you comfortable. Because what happens is when sometimes I noticed this about myself some years ago, I'll make these broad announcements thinking that's my way to be accountable. But when it was, what it really was putting pressure on me because I didn't put it out there now. So now I got to live up to it when I really wasn't ready. But as you evolve into that version of yourself that you have not released yet, do it in quiet. You know that we've all seen the different announcements. Do move in quiet, and then when you're ready to release it to the world because you've already got it all tight and right. Same
Mm-hmm.
thing. Same thing. And finally, clarity replaces urgency when you're in the middle of transformation. When you're clear of where it is you're going and what it is you need to do for yourself, it erases the urgency of it because you are no longer at a point of accepting that you're going to make this change. You're already making the change. So the urgency has been removed. So when it comes down to integrating yourself into that version of her that you have not allowed to come forth, remember this reflection point. What version of yourself feels outdated but still present? What are you still doing in your life that you know this is so old, I need to stop it? What is it? Identify what that is and then ask yourself, why am I continuing to do this? Why am I continuing to do this? So, with that being said, I'm gonna turn this over because I can talk about this for a little while. So, let's give you.
Yes. Let me, so multitasking here. Yes, meeting the woman you're becoming. And honestly, one of the things you said where we talk about age and whether I feel I'm too young, not too young, but too old. Yeah, we could go in the reverse, too young
Mhm.
to start. But even working with an 8-year-old author, and then I had the opportunity to work with a 13-year-old author. That reminds me and encourages me. You're never too young to start. And I shared recently on Women into Networking, they had a platform, a discussion. And one of the questions that I was asked was in regards to what have I learned from previous generations. And recently, I was speaking to my grandmother. She is 93, my maternal grandmother. And I learned she was a painter. And she started painting at age 35 through age 50. Now you would see that in our age, and it's like to start a career at that age, painting, and then to do it for so long, and it encouraged. We had a conversation where a lot of these celebrities that we know, they started in their midlife, right?
Mhm.
So becoming her, she was always there. Perhaps my grandmother was, there's so much I want to ask her, but maybe she was into certain things, right? Or maybe she had to learn how to paint because you're talking in the 40s, maybe 50s, so very interesting of becoming the woman that we are becoming. So I'm talking about, she's already showing you who she is, whether it's, again, my teacher. and highlighting some of the things I had said before, but wanting to be a teacher, but me knowing, okay, maybe not that direction of being in the public school, but I became a Sunday school teacher. I became a dance teacher. Now I would say from teaching to coaching, and just being able to minister to women is that was me her from whatever age I dreamt to be a teacher, right? I had the talking points, but for some reason I didn't save them. So the
That's
first talking point, the behaviors your future self no longer negotiates.
mm,
Your future self, we're not negotiating anymore. This is what it is. This is who I am. Either you like it or not.
I'm
And I
not.
thought about even myself when I first locked my hair, which was in 2020. Then I unlocked in 23. Then I locked it back in 2024. And I think that was probably me going through something, but also trying to figure out who are you, And I think part of me, my identity now is like, okay, oh, I know Clivia, the girl with the locks, because before I had thousands of hairstyles, but embrace who I am because again, I think I unlocked it. I still don't know the depth of why. It could have been being the only Black person in the office. Was I trying to fit in? Or was I letting go of something that I had going on, and then just wanted a fresh start? I don't know. But I know that this is part of who I am. And there's no, can you unlock your hair again? Because that doesn't fit our culture. No, there's no negotiating who I am today. And that's just how it is. And sometimes we have to figure that out, sometimes the hard way, and sometimes just learning who you are. How she handles time, energy, and relationships differently. And I know we talked about the art, and I think Coach Beck mentioned a ministry. And she said the ministry of no.
Of no.
And when she said, I was like, okay, the ministry of no.
What's
And
that,
that's
Miss
really
Marcy?
protecting
No.
and how we handle our energy, our relationships differently.
Hmm.
And a lot of people, maybe they weren't there on saying no. It was always yes. Maybe they were used to Marcy saying no because she's been saying more so in the church, like, no, I'm not doing that.
That's a no.
And that's okay.
And it can't be a hell no if you don't do that.
Exactly. And there's no shying away from that.
That's
But
right.
we do it with class, we do it with grace, right? The standard she sets without explaining. And you mentioned that, Karen, like I don't have to over explain of who I am. And if you want to have a consultation, you can click the link below. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like
Yes.
I don't really have to explain. I don't. And
Hmm.
then we have the courage it takes to stop returning to old versions of you. You talk about maybe someone that was addicted to something, and without, whether it's without community, whether it's without praying, whether it's without
Hmm.
wanting to change, you would always go back to that old version because it was comfortable, because it felt good, even if it wasn't good for you. So not returning to that old version of yourself is when we realize we are becoming her. So at this time, we're going to do some grounding. We'll do 60-second of visualization. Picture a moment from your future where you feel steady, fulfilled, and at ease. What choices did she make differently? And I remember before we do this, just seeing myself on a stage with many, many people with a very cute suit on. And I see it, right? Yes. And I have in the background, backstage, I would say, I have my makeup artist. So to know that there's a local girl, she's been committed. She was like, anytime you need to show up, just call me. My loctician, I haven't been to her in a while, but I know when I'm ready, she'll be traveling with me. And I see that, right? So at this time, I want us to visualize that future her that maybe you dreamt of one day. How do you see her? How is she steady? Is she fulfilled? Is she at ease with who she has become or who she realized she always was? What choices did she make differently? Let's take some time to just visualize her. And let me maybe put something on. Help with the vision.
You know, music background going.
You don't hear it?
Not yet.
It should be. It was rain, but
Rain. It was rainfall.
Oh, I didn't hear it. I mean, I heard it. I didn't recognize it. Okay, I heard
okay.
it.
I
Sorry,
switched it to
sorry to
the.
interrupt the flow like that. I apologize.
We'll take a few more seconds. Just visualizing the future her. See her standing tall, confidently, boldly. That word. Is she at ease? Is she steady? In stilettos or flats or sneakers? Wonderful.
Miss Clivia, before you go on, I just want to actually Miss Marcy's up next, but before I want to interject something about the courage.
Hmm.
When it comes down to us living in the authenticity of who we are, no matter what version it is, because we have versions, right? It
Hmm.
would be ridiculous for me to still behave the way I was when I was in my 20s. It would be
Right.
absolutely ludicrous, right? But living authentically in that version, it takes courage.
Yes.
It takes courage, and this is something I really want to bring home for our listeners. No matter where you are in your journey, it takes courage to be authentic to yourself. So many of us have been conditioned to live in a certain way. Society tries to dictate to us all the time, women, but particularly Black women, of how we're supposed to dress, how our hair is supposed to be. I was listening to a lady on one of the platforms, and she was a white woman, but she had tattoos and she was a voluptuous woman. And they were telling her that she wasn't dressing professionally and she's been in her job for 20 something years and never had a problem. And I was reading the comments and all I could see was people, they're brave enough in these typing words to tell this woman what she is or is not, but courageously she came right back at them and say, look, I don't owe y'all nothing. This me going live and just showing up is all about me. And if you want to come here and be a part of it, you're welcome to it. But I don't owe y'all nothing. And I just celebrated her. I put a comment in. I don't know who she is, but I put a
Hmm.
comment in letting her know I applaud her for standing on business, 10 toes down on what she believed that she had to do, being courageous. You don't owe anyone anything, but two things you have to do in this life. Two. And after, okay, three.
Taxes.
Three things in this life you must do. Outside of that, everything else is a choice. Even going to work, even paying bills, doing for your children, having children, all of it is a choice. When you choose you step out on courage and know that you have a purpose, no matter what others' opinions are of you. And that's something that I'm working through on a particular thing myself, not being so caught up in what other people say. Because that exercise you just had us to go through, I recalled it a image. I too had that image of myself on stage. I hear my stiletto heels clicking down the hallway on my way to the venue, and my
Yeah.
assistant behind me going through my whatever and checking it off for me. I clearly can hear it. I can feel the coldness of the handle of the door that I'm opening to go
Hmm.
on the stage. That's just how vivid it is. I know my hair is up in it. It's what's my
Your
Signature.
bun.
that's it. The brand, my bun, my brand bun. It's up and it's duded up. Like I see all that. I see my suit. My suit is in a dark plum color, and I have a
Yes.
white
I
shirt
saw
on.
that for you.
Listen, I see that. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? So when I see such imagery, I know it is to be. Because when you see things in such a level of detail
Distinct.
like that,
Yeah.
that nobody gave that to me. It's real, and it's up to me to bring it to life. God has placed it in me, and it is my responsibility. It is my desire. But one thing we have got to remember: stop letting the opinions of others decide what you're gonna do with your life.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, it's on you.
Hmm.
When you're laying in that bed, taking your last breath, the opinions of others will not matter to you in that moment. So why are you letting them matter now?
Yeah.
Tell me somebody. And I'm talking to me more, I'm talking to y'all.
Hmm.
So courage, having the courage to step out on business, 10 toes down, to do that you know you are purpose to do. I'm done, Miss Marcy. I apologize.
I love it. I love it. So I was on stage, but mine is on stage and also greeting a crowd of people. I'm waving, and I have it's a cream dress
Mm.
with a split because baby, I'm into splits. But the dress has a blue crystal at the top of the split.
Oh,
Yes. And I was
Really?
like, okay, Mars. Okay, Mars. Because I'm gonna always be me. And that's one thing. I don't know where I got this from, but the opinions of people never really mattered to me much. Because I've always be like, can you beat me? You can't. So but I also had 3 shoe changes in my outfit because I came out in my stilettos. But I was like, you know what? I got a pair of beige. Uh, yeah, I'm not gonna say the name because they ain't paying us. And then I got into a pair of flats, and then I was like, you know what? I want to wear my tennis shoes because I love shoes, and that's what I'm gonna do.
yeah.
Um, so that was the outfit and where I saw myself the on stage and with the crowd. And I had handsome men all around me.
Ooh.
Yeah, baby, I'm gonna have some men around me, baby. Yeah. Uh, but and also, I wanted to go back to when I introduced myself. I caught myself when I said author, and I it was like I couldn't get it out. And then I remembered what this episode was about the future self I haven't introduced myself to yet. And
Mm-hmm.
as I stumbled, and I realized that I stumbled upon me calling myself an author, and it literally hit me right then. The future self that you have not introduced yourself yet. Like I've been a best-selling author. Okay, it's been, I think, has it been over a year? I think it's been over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, in 26 out, it'll be 4 books I'll have out in 26. But me calling myself an author was the future self I really haven't introduced myself to yet.
Mm.
Um, and I love the aha moments.
Yeah.
And another thing, Clivia, I remember I had traditional locks. I removed my locks during my separation. So because I was told that hair carries trauma. So I wanted to remove some of the trauma that I was going through. And by removing some of that hair, I was able to remove some of the trauma. I went from traditional locks to the locks I have now, which are my sister locks. And I feel the difference between my regular locks that I had and
Mm-hmm.
the locks.
Yeah.
It gives me more freedom. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in love with my locks. I loved my locks, but now my sister locks, I'm in love with my sister locks. So
Mm.
it was just all that was just like brewing up with
Yeah.
this one subject, the future self I haven't introduced myself to yet. That's some, and it's some good stuff to sit back and be okay with this title.
Mm. Mm.
Be okay with sitting back and having some aha moments. And with that, I'm in the embodiment over intention. You think um, why intentions without behavior changes keeps you stuck? I'm gonna let you know. Um, at times, I was afraid to be successful.
Mm.
I'm like, how do I? How do I even walk into being an author? Not once, not twice, not three, not four, but 5 times. Next, this year, 5 times. How do I do that? And there's been several times that I have not done things because
Mm-hmm.
I was so paralyzed.
Yeah.
the gap between awareness and embodiment. Whew, that's a whole nother series.
That's heavy. That's
Yeah,
heavy.
that's
Mhm.
I would that's a series that I would like to come back, just a whole series on that, because that's heavy right now, and I would really have to think more on it to be like to speak on it just in depth. Identify identity rehearsal, acting in alignment before confidence arrives. Once again, going back to when I introduced myself, saying the word author, and it made me stutter.
Mm.
So I know I'm an author, but I gotta walk in that alignment.
Gotta
And
own it, Miss Marcy.
right, yes, I have to own it.
Mhm.
And
And before you continue, Marcy, that's very similar to when you just got married, right?
mhm,
To say, "Oh, I'm a wife," or you might still say fiance or girlfriend, but then it's like, "I'm a whole wife," and we know that we're actually a wife before we become a wife.
That's right.
But
mhm.
that's kind of like saying it out loud, saying it every day. Look in the mirror and affirm, "I am an author. I
What does that look like? What
I
does a 5-time author look like? Her.
So
like
what
you."
I have to do,
Exactly.
as much as I love myself in the mirror, I gotta start saying, "Hey, you an author." So that's something that I have
Exactly.
to add to my mirror work.
Mhm. Exactly. Exactly.
Yes. And number four, small daily practices that anchor the future self. So what did I just say? That's something that I have to add to my mirror work. On top of the I love yous, on the top of the I'm proud of you.
Mhm.
Sis, you're an author, you're a speaker, you're MC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And these are the things like yeah, I do these things, yeah, that's what I am, instead of like there's so many things I say boldly.
Mhm.
I'm a community activist, um I'm a healer, I'm a mental health advocate. But
Mhm.
when it comes to come up, they're like, yeah, let me, yeah. So I got to practice. I got to do some more daily practices on that.
Mhm.
Um, So, oh, making decisions without over explaining. I'm not over explaining nothing. Either you like what I tell you or you don't, and it'll be all right. Which one you take it. And protect and rest as a non-negotiable. So, um, with a certain like, I'm gonna have surgery, and I'm making sure that there's nothing on my calendar.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
I'm not at the surgery. I'm gonna put that leg up and yeah, I'm going to properly heal from my surgery, but I have to now remember that this body needs rest, more rest than before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking with clarity instead of apology. Yeah, that's something. Now I will say, oh man, I'm sorry. I apologize. Um, yeah, but I'm not going to do it too often. Redesigning routines that support nervous system safely. Yeah. So, healing, doing a healing journey that supports my healing system. I mean, that supports my nervous system. Breathing, like the way we're incorporating um like the breathing techniques
Mhm.
and the seeing your future self. That right there it's like a factory reset. So I'm loving that.
Yeah.
And why repetition builds identity faster than motivation. I got to work on that. That's something,
Mhm.
I love when we bring out these points because of the simple fact it gives us a chance to see different things that some of us like. I'm strong in some areas, and
Yeah.
then in some areas it's like, yeah, no, that
Yeah.
you work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is definitely, this is why our listeners come, because they get to have that aha moment. And that
Mm-hmm.
aha moment, and I love that they get to have that aha moment. But I know for me, I've had aha moments right in this moment.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful. So I'm definitely grateful for this space.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Love it.
Let me see. Did I have a quote drop? Your future self is built. Oh yeah, I did that already. So a reflection. With what one behavior could you practice now that aligns with who I'm becoming?
Hmm, it's a good
And
question.
mine's is definitely doing some more mirror work on
Mm-hmm.
my list of the what I am and who
Mm-hmm.
I am.
Yeah,
One of
that's good.
mine would be, to answer that question, would be to um, just trust myself. In my prayer time this morning, I was affirming for myself that the courage that I need for every task that I have now and to come is already within me.
Yeah,
I don't have to be equipped with courage. The courage is already there. I have to tap in. And I believe that's where I get a little off track, thinking that I need to bring it in. It's already in. I need to bring
yeah.
it out.
Yes,
I
exactly.
need to bring it out. It's already in me. And let knows I woke up this morning choosing violence on myself.
What now?
Transparency. I woke up this morning choosing violence on myself. And what I mean by that is having these wayward thoughts that I know are completely out of alignment with what I
Mhm.
know to be true. But I entertained them, going right on down the road with them, riding right on along. And isn't it?
And
The,
passenger
the
seat.
thoughts were in the passenger seat. I'm like, yeah, you right. I know, right? And I had to catch myself. I'm like, you chose violence on yourself this morning, entertaining that you know not to be true, but because of whatever reason, that I woke up this morning, instead of stopping myself in my tracks, recognizing I was in a place that I have no place to be in, because we have that power to rethink what we're thinking, to think about it in a
Mhm.
different way. We have that ability. It's innate in us. I didn't
Yeah,
choose that. I chose violence instead, to see myself in a light that wasn't true, to acknowledge what I know that isn't true, but because weakness, I don't know, in the moment, whatever, I allow myself. So in seeing that, I have to catch those moments more often and not be 10 miles down the road and realize I need to kick this passenger out of the seat. Right.
yeah.
So thank you for that question, Miss Marcy. That was a good one.
That's good. I'll pick it up from there. Honestly, just living before you feel ready. Not to make it, it's not a requirement. It's really being aligned. And like you said,
Mm-hmm.
it's not to fight.
Mm-hmm.
She's right there. It's just to let her out. And
Yes.
that's one of the things that I've been realizing, where she's always been in me, but allowing God to order my steps, He is just putting people in place. And I'm like, oh, that's why we met. Oh, this is why you, and it's just been this beautiful, whether it's a
Yeah.
tree and branches, it's just all coming together.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
Mm-hmm.
make it a
Mm-hmm.
requirement. Like you said, it's trusting yourself and trusting God to lead
Yes.
us, to direct us, because He already knows the plan, not to harm us, not choosing violence, but to give us a hope and a future. And that's like real. It's
Yeah.
real. So don't wait to feel ready, in regards to why waiting to feel ready delays embodiment, because
Yeah.
you'll keep waiting instead
Well,
of
I have a
just
question. I have a
Mhm.
question, because Ms. Marcy said the word, and now you're saying the word. What does embodiment mean? A regular definition, everyday definition of embodiment. What does that mean?
I would say to absorb.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking of the dead. Now you talk about when they put things in you so you don't leak out. So is it called embodied, or it's
No,
called,
that's embalming.
but that's what I heard, right? I hear embodiment, but that's what I thought. Not heard, but that's what I thought.
Yeah, no,
Because it
embodiment. Now, when I hear it, I think of really taking in, like Ms. Marcy said, absorbing, allowing in, to make it part of my being, that her that I know is there. She's
Right.
inside, but really recognizing and making space for her by clearing out all the other stuff. That's what I'm thinking. I don't. I
Right.
mean, that's what came to mind for
So
me.
that's what I'm thinking. And again, maybe I said, because again, not thinking of the dead as in the dead, but thinking of the process of what they do, right? So
Okay.
it's basically absorbing things that wouldn't leak out. So it's basically that total, and not to use the word for the word, but that total embodiment,
Yeah.
being from head to toe, being covered in it, whether
Okay.
it's covered in that grace, right? That grace
Okay.
of becoming her,
Okay.
that joy of becoming her. So
Yeah.
just that
Yeah.
total, yeah,
Okay.
fullness, that
Okay.
So
fullness.
yes. So it's when the beliefs, healing, values, and truth are felt, expressed, and carried through your body on choices, boundaries, in daily life. So
Mm.
absorbing.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Thank you for that. Because I kind of knew, but I'm like, if I'm thinking about this, maybe some of the listeners like, what does that
Somebody
mean
else.
to embody
Right.
something, right? And it's really to take on the full persona of what that is. You know, like I say, take on the full armor of God. Well, just like we take on the full armor of God, when He shows us who we are, He's saying, "This is who you are. Take this on." So
Yeah, that's
anyway,
good. That's
yeah,
good. I'm gonna cut that part off that I just said. We're gonna clip that out. The fear of being seen differently. So again, even going back to
yeah,
my hair, maybe I was fearful that okay, if I'm gonna stay with this company, I gotta fit in. Let me maybe cut my locks. Again, I really don't know the depth of that, but you never know. But don't be fearful of being you. Don't be
hmm
fearful of
hmm
showing up like yourself because there's no other.
yeah,
There is no other.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
no one like you. And I think there's a quote, don't try to be anyone else because
It's
you're
already
already
taken.
like somebody, it's already taken. Like just be yourself. You are God's favorite daughter. And then someone might say, but I'm God's favorite daughter. You could be God's favorite daughter, but I am God's favorite daughter. you know?
And that's the thing when I say that. And you could we all could be God's favorite daughter because he's just that mighty.
Right.
But
hmm
Hmm.
also I can't be selfish to think that I'm the only one that God can
Right.
bless in such a manner. No,
hmm
why can't
Exactly.
my sisters also be God's favorite daughter?
Exactly. Exactly.
I
No,
want to
we think
share this. I asked my fellow host here, co-host. I shared with them that I have ladybugs in my house, and I think this is just very fitting of what we're talking about, right? So I looked it up, and it said ladybugs come in your house because they're looking for warmth. Well, the spiritual person in the room, the other spiritual person in the room said, "Well, did you see what it means spiritually, Miss Marcy?" I said, "No, I did not." So, and I'm sharing this just to see that there are ways that you can look at something that would just totally transform your world. So, having ladybugs in your house has a spiritual meaning. Divine protection, love, positive changes are coming, symbolizing blessings, abundance, and a healthy spirit, often linked to faith and representing nature's harmony and joy. They're seen as the ladybugs are seen as messengers of fortune, new beginnings, or even a reminder. This is it right here. This is the crux for me right here. To stay joyful and grateful for life's simple gifts, acting
Mhm.
as a sign that good things are headed your way. So, with me staying in gratitude, staying in joy over the simple things, because a girl been trying to work and massage something to get it to look, ah, but taking a moment to be joyful and grateful over the small, simple, seemingly small, simple things in life. Those ladybugs that fly around here from time to time. Now, when I see them, I wasn't worried about them because they're ladybugs. But now, when I see them, it's just a whole different view. And your perspective on who you can be,
Yes.
it is everything. Your perspective of how you see you, not how everybody else. Them ladybugs could care less about how I saw them. They had
Right.
a warm place to be. That's all they cared about. And they were taking advantage of it. Go ahead on y'all. You weren't bothering me. But now I see them in a different light and I so appreciate them because now I have a
Mhm.
reminder of the little things, those
Yeah.
simple things to be grateful for. So I wanted to bring that up. Take it for what you will. Take it for what you will. Finally, the final reflection point I want to bring out is this: what decisions would my future self make today? What decisions would my future self make today? And our final journaling point is If I lived as my future self today, what would be my first change? What would I change first? If I lived as my future self, that embodiment thing that Miss Marcy and Miss Cliffy was talking about, if I lived as my future self today, what would be the first thing that I would change?
Hmm.
Think about that for a moment.
Mhm.
We're gonna need our listener audience to put that in the chat.
Yes,
What, what, would-
absolutely.
what would yeah, that's some good. As a matter of fact, hmm,
My wardrobe. That's my answer.
your what?
What was it?
I'll change my wardrobe.
I like my wardrobe,
Yeah.
but I could always upgrade. You know what? I love the way I dress because it's a little funky and it. Yeah, I like what I like, and once again, like what other people think, I don't care because it's what I like. I know
Hmm.
they
Mhm.
say women dress for women. I don't. I dress for Marcy.
I've heard that before too. I've
Yeah,
heard
I
that
Is
do.
it?
before.
You mean like to show off for other women?
To
Yeah.
impress other
Mm,
women.
interesting.
That wouldn't be my
I
reality,
just
but
know I need an enhanced closet. My
listen,
closet
I'm
needs
with you. I need to. My daughter's been telling me. She said, "Mom, it's time for a wardrobe refresh." And I didn't
right.
even argue with them. Like, yes, you're right. And you know what would be the first thing I would change? It would be where I physically live.
Okay.
That would be the first
Yeah.
thing I would change. Where I physically live would be the first thing, because your surroundings are everything.
Yeah.
Yes, your mind, it starts in the mind, but then it comes out as a physical display. And
Mhm.
what your surroundings are in every way impact your mindset, how you can see things, how broad your thinking is, etc. So I would change where I physically live. That would be the first thing,
That's good.
right? So Miss Marcy, well, you said you wouldn't be your clothes, but what would it be?
It would definitely. Well, changing where I live. That would be definitely, because these folks is crazy around here. Yeah, my future self wants to live not in the ghetto.
Elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely.
You know what? I wanna have a deck where I can go and I can moon bathe and I can put my
Ooh.
crystals outside
Hmm.
and let them absorb the
Yeah,
moon
the energy. Yeah,
and yeah, that energy. And
yeah.
I want to moon bathe.
Hmm.
So I definitely living somewhere where I can moon bathe.
Understood. Understood. Y'all, listen, this has been an amazing conversation, and one that I pray that our audience are taking heed of, because these conversations that we have, they're not just for us. Therefore, whoever's listening, you think you're just listening because you know us. That's true too. And we thank you.
And we thank you.
But you're also listening because something that was said is meant for you, or for you to share with somebody else. So, speaking of that, share, make sure y'all share these episodes out. Make sure you're subscribing. We're going to get to our affirmations and our scripture. I honor who I've been, and I truly do, because without her, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I welcome who I am becoming.
Amen.
What I am growing into already recognizes my worth.
Even before I fully know her, I trust that my future self is healing, courage, and grace. In our scripture, being confident of this very thing, that he who began a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Philippians 1, verse 6. He will complete it.
So y'all make sure y'all pass this on. Pass this on. Your future self is waiting for you to see her or him and release them. Release them, because you see them, it's time for them
Yeah.
to come forth. Because you see them, it's time for them to come forth. So with that being said, we want to thank you all for listening. Thank you for commenting. And we're trying to get to that 25,000 views, y'all.
Yeah.
We're trying to get there. So we just need your help to help get us there before the end of the year. We're at about 17,000 right now. So if you guys can keep viewing, keep sharing, we will hit that goal, because the foundation of what we do here is to speak kindly about ourselves and to teach others to speak kindly about themselves. And the only way to do that is to keep sharing, keep listening. And for that, we say thank you. Until the next time, peace and blessings to you all. Bye bye now.
Ashe.
Ashe.